is how we look at the things with, when we plan, then we look at the direction as well. I am being specifically not saying all the directions here. I will come to that later. When we move towards Agni, fire is our third element, and the association of this element is directly with the energies. It's directly with wherein you get those energies from. If I'm using the electricity, where exactly is the source of electricity? Again, we are getting that from the nature itself. But what, and what control we have on using this energy? So that has to be understood. And we have fire in the spaces or in the environments we are in. So for an example, if I take an example of the home environment, we have kitchen is the best place or the space which indicates that there is your element of fire at the max. Yeah, okay. So moving ahead with the fourth element, which has been air, or you say it vayu. So this has the association with, as I'm saying, wind directions. Yes, that has to do with the wind direction, and that is how you understand how breathing spaces can be designed. How well that goes to be the communication in the house, because you should not feel suffocated many a times. How can you plan your movements accordingly, and how can be the ideal placements of the spaces according to the airflow and the wind directions we have naturally. Then comes is the space, and the space is being called as Akash. So Akash, or the space, is wherein you actually give the breathing spaces in the house. So if I give you a fantastic example to understand this element is in place, the concept of Vadas, building this architecture, beautifully building the architecture, Vadas has this concept of having centrally located the courtyards, or the or given spaces are is a symbolical denotion of Akash. So this is a beautiful concept of, having the architecture style of Vada, and you understand the space has been designed in and around that courtyard, which is open to sky and which is very exactly in the center of the space, and you feel very cozy, and you feel the space has been very much designed, because the moment you put your center open to sky, rest all things will fall in space automatically if you go direction wise. So now, am I clear with the elements? Oh, can I get a response quickly? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, okay, okay. So, okay, I'll continue then. Okay. Speaking about all these things, the connection next we should understand is the five elements has a different relationship with the directions, and how it is that we will understand. So now, the if you see the image, this image is particularly just I wanted to show that nothing is possible without understanding the directions. Nothing is possible without understanding the role of these elements, and only then you can have the sound planning of the space and the spatial arrangement or any designed space. Okay, so uh, this, if you want, you can write it down. So, Earth being Prithvi, I'll just quickly read it for you. We consider Earth as the most important element, and it comes in the form of foundation for the human existence, that it provides stability, security, and nourishment. Absolutely, if we are not on Earth, where we are. So we have to have the Earth, and we have to have a piece of land to be where we want to be. So in Vastu, the shape and the size and the slope of the land are considered to harness the beneficial energies of earth. So many a times, if you have gone to, somewhere into the hill stations or what, therein you don't find flat lands. So there, the concept of putting the Vastu Shastra techniques or the principles to understand how exactly the plot or the land is, therein you have to understand everything, the shape and the size and the slope the land has, and then how will you plan something which is a flat structure over it. Okay, so the direction which says or which is governed by the element called earth is southwest, to which we called Nairutya. Nairutya is southwest. So southwest governs the element earth. So when we get a plan in front of us, we will understand where southwest stands, and it has been called Nairutya. So blindly we can place all the heavy items, all the heavy structures, whatever you want to make. So let me tell you the heavy structure. What I mean by heavy structure is, if you have a small space which is designed, you have a small 2 BHK or 3 BHK villa or home, you have staircase block, right? So staircase block is the heaviest element of the entire structure, which we can then, blindly put into this southwest. It has to be heavy, as we have this denotation towards southwest is earth. Okay, so this will bring stability to entire structure, and as I said, ultimately the rest of the things will fall in place. Now, what we should consider about when we consider Vastu. So, the land on which the building is constructed has to be stable and free from the defects. So, for which we, as a Vastu consultant, we do mud testing. We do go and we have few things, few testing of the soils, a few testing of the plot on the different directions. So we have to understand that. We will find out, do the land have any slope or onto it or not, and is there any vegetation, and if yes, then how is the vegetation, what are the species been there, and then we will understand that the slope direction, preferably where it has to be. So now we are into southwest for the earth, so we will preferably go towards north or east. So as I said, symbolism here, earth is the symbolical representation, so it actually goes to the physical strength, being stable, being the most heavier element into the five elements. So it symbolically says that it all goes in within the relation with your physical strength, and it contributes to your health and your prosperity ultimately. Then the usage is like bedrooms or master bedrooms. Any important room should be placed in southwest for stability and security, so that somebody who is, a little mature, a little elder, can understand and be there as a head of the family, or as the head of that space, can stay back there and understand if anything happens, is the person is very much aware of. Okay, so moving ahead with the second element, which is water. So water is a symbol of purity, is a symbol of fluidity. So flexibility is the symbol of life. So it gets connected to our emotions wherever we go and wherever we see water, be it a lake, be it a sea, or be it any small source of water. We do get that joy, we do get that emotion, we do feel happy. So those are the symbolical things which integrates my emotions. So either I'm happy to see that, so somebody is spending hours in front of water and feeling blessed like anything. So this is actually is a source of positive energy, and that is how the major direction which belongs to the element water is northeast, which is Ishanya. And Ishanya is directly associated with water, and it has been advised that now, when we talk about the home environment, we have the resource for water is our well, or maybe the underground water tanks, or maybe if somebody is having a big or a lavish villa or something, they might have the fountains in place or something like that. Or you must have seen in the movies or somewhere in real, so you find there are fountains when you enter, which intricates your emotions, that you are entering into a happy space. So that is how this thing called as water as an element is important into Vastu. And many a times it has been, suggested that Ishanya, the north east, is been dedicated for, getting your well inside. Now, you understand well. Well is something wherein you have, around 80 feet or more, niche into the earth. And by the time you get water source, you will dig in, dig in, dig in. So that is how you are making that vacuum over there. So this vacuum is only allowed on northeast. As we have just done the southwest heavy, we have to keep this vacuum again to balance both the things. Okay, so one corner we have done heavy, and one corner we have made this vacuum called well, or the source of water. So see, now understand, both the things cannot go otherwise. Okay, if they go otherwise, you may get the problems or the faults into your plot or your house or anything which is built on this piece of land. Okay, so we have to ensure the proper placement of now this water element, and then understand where it should not go like wrong. Okay,